All right, let me find the last bit.
I've got a question that is based on what I've seen you've been talking about quite a lot in your recent broadcasts, and it's the possibilities about blockchain. Now, my question is, so given your knowledge on blockchain technology and smart contracts and decentralized digital economies, I'm working with a project group studying your recent broadcast on these subjects, and I was wondering, do you think an independent DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, partly run and marketed by Westerners like me to promote the awareness of the NFSC news, is something that an organization like the NFSC news could benefit from? And if so, how should it evolve in that direction from what it is today? For an example, by firstly initially implementing smart contracts. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Sir, it's a good question. The blockchain now and decentralizing the system is in the words we are the future and the big power for everybody. It's the Chinese Communist Party because they make the firewall. They are, it's a brainwash. Their finance is 100% centralized. That's why they scared that it's a blockchain and the decentralized the system come in China. It's go to China, this is a big trouble for them. That's why it's the first country Chinese Communist Party announced make the policy see any blockchain in China you use is illegal. You get killed and go to jail. Only one is the blockchain.
In that order. I'm just kidding.
So I think what they're trying to say is that the decentralized and blockchain will give people power, as we all been studying, and we know that. But he's trying to point out China right now, the Communist Party is actually implementing some law and policies blocking blockchain in China. Whoever use it, they will be arrested and then possible might get killed because they don't want this decentralized power given to the people.
What they do want is a centralized blockchain that they run, which will be even more beneficial to them than any fiat currency, because then they can track everything.
Exactly.
And if you want to do another ridiculous lockdown, they'll know that you're a mile away from your house buying something, because they can track everything on the monetary system, which will be a centralized digital currency, which they're trying to do in quite a lot of countries. And it's actually not just the CCP who are trying to do that. A lot of places are trying to do that. But luckily, those places haven't made decentralized cryptocurrency illegal. That's the big difference.
So I would say Miles wants decentralized blockchain technology for people, especially even in the movement, right?
Yeah.
Should be decentralized. But let's keep going.
So this is the blockchain, also cryptocurrency only by Chinese Communist Party is the centralized control. They first make it, it's called data blockchain RMB system and RMB international blockchain pay system. That's why they nowadays the blockchains change the world. It's a big power and the super weapon can take down its central is the government centralizes the system. Also America, you look at American scared is this cryptocurrency blockchain, right? Also you look at they are trying to take down everybody because the fiat is any country is a slave to the peoples. This is the number one.
What do they mean by slave the people?
Slavery.
Yep, got you.
So he's trying to say right now the CCP want the blockchain centralized using like blockchain payment RMB. That's what they want.
I think most countries want that, to be honest with you. But I don't think the CCP are alone in that. I know for a fact that the UK are trying to do that soon, and they are trying to get their centralized blockchain currency, and they're going to want to track everyone. They just want to swap their currency for a digital currency. Like in this country, you can't really spend any other money. You can only spend pound sterling, and you can spend Scottish money, but even some shops don't even like taking Scottish money. It's still in the United Kingdom. But, they just want the same thing, but with cryptocurrency. They don't like the fact that there's all these different currencies because they want to be able to track what you're doing. But at the minute, it's a little bit different with the fiat currency in the UK because the central bank of the UK don't necessarily know what you're buying. It's your personal bank knows what you're buying, and then, you know, they pay the central bank. But if we have a central cryptocurrency, it's going to be bad.
So basically, it's like the government against people right now.
Yeah, yeah. Western, democratic, communist, they all want the same. The difference is decentralized cryptocurrency is not illegal in my country. You know, you can't get arrested for having Bitcoin or for having whatever. It doesn't matter what you've got. It doesn't matter. You know, they have no problem with it. It's fine. But I think as soon as some kind of centralized blockchain cryptocurrency is implemented, I think things are going to change.
The policy. There's going to be a lot of policy coming out, I think.
When you look at it, it's just centralized versus decentralized, right? Government or some sort of a leadership thing just want to have control over other people. They want to make decisions for other people. I think that's so. I think what Miles also wanted to feature in the movement, even the farm and all that, will be like the decentralized feature.
Sort of what Byron was asking.
Maybe I talked a little bit too quickly. My accent is not exactly the most proper English, so I do apologize if I made that difficult for you, Miles Guo. But at least he got the aspect of my question, and I'm very hopeful that I will get to speak to him again about this in the future, and his Guo English, I'm sure, will have improved by then. I will try and learn some Chinese.
His English has actually improved a lot.
Well, I was told that we was going to have to get all of our questions translated for him, and although he didn't understand it perfectly, I mean, I understood half of his answer. I mean, I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be a very drawn-out process where I say something, and then it gets translated, and he says something. Very impressed with his English, as bad as he thinks it is. Like I said to him, it's a lot better than my Chinese.
Well, that's what we did here, try to bridge the gap between the West and the East. But the whole point, we need to understand, he wants decentralized. He doesn't want centralized things all the time. Some, right?
The weapons. Even Mr. Carl, Kevin, June, and Amanda, you know, Brian, it's the American, it's the, dollars, and the Europe, it's the everything finance, also the currency. They are inflation, deflation, all this take down you because take evaluation. That's a cheater games. How do you think the dollar, the paper, right? Same thing, but China is more worse. RMB, they have the two systems. Inside the people, outside
I'm
RMB.
hoping we're gonna touch on that devolution, evolution, because I didn't know.
I think
inflation, deflation. Inflation and deflation.
Okay. So basically, he said the government using that, he just basically wipe you out and just deflate your money, and then inflate. Just they take people's money out with this trick. And he also mentioned the RMB have two systems. One is internal RMB, another one is external RMB. Name the same, but actually two different systems. So they can use that trick to like basically lock people's value and play all kind of tricks.
Outside the RMB call, outside the RMB system. Why? The two systems sleep for Chinese. But that's why we
Chinese,
data and the use independence. In the blockchain system, create an NFSC called Himalaya Exchange. Also, we have programmed now do the same job. We want to create in the world globally only one. It's by blockchain. And it's the technology to the media. Will we change the getter? We are changing the broadcast, not by this, not the technology. We buy AI, we buy it's the blockchain, the system. This is the technology. That's we are the program. Why? Because we need number one. We must be want you, Mr. Carl, Kevin, Jean, Amanda. You don't need further food, bread, water.
He left me out.
Oh, he's trying because you were the one that asked the really smart question. Joking. He wants to make sure. But my question, he's mentioning about the tie-in of like Getter and Himalaya Exchange, but it's not entirely clear. He's trying to emphasize that Getter is going to allow people to buy these daily essentials. Is that the point he's trying to make?
I think he's trying to make by his planning what he's been doing with the University of China. I integrating Himalaya Exchange, Getter, and all that put together. So people able to use digital currency, able to buy essential stuff, has been what we're doing, our show, the tea and coffee. And then people don't need to like kowtow to anyone to get the essential thing. You don't need to like kiss someone's hands to be able to do what you like.
You kiss, you everybody. You need to have the, very fear that go back any currency. Not by, don't need to pay 75% tax. Don't need to pay 65% tax. Because some people, Wall Street people, London finance city people, the leaders, nobody pay the tax. They have a lot of what's called finance, construction designer. They don't need to pay, but they want you pay. Blockchain.
So I think he's also trying to say blockchain will also change the taxation in the future, right? Then people wouldn't need to pay excess amount of tax because so many smart people, so-called, I mean, they don't really pay tax.
Yeah. There's so many different ways of avoiding tax. There's tax avoidance schemes that you can find up about that are totally legal, and you don't really have to do much to do it. I mean, I got asked about it a few times when I had a few businesses, and a few of my friends who are families who are a little bit well off mentioned it, and I just didn't want to do it, because at the end of the day, if I'm earning money, then I want to pay tax because I want to drive on a road that hasn't got big holes in it. And well, I think we pay too much tax, but I just don't like the idea of tax avoidance. I mean, you should pay it. If you earn it, you should pay it. What that amount is negotiable, but everyone is equal.
Yeah.
So everyone should pay the same.
First of all, if you pay the tax, if the tax money to do the tax money is supposed to do that, is okay, but right now it's not.
Yeah, that's the problem, is like you're paying taxes and then where is your tax money going? Like that's the problem with like this country right now.
Go
People
to
are getting
someone's
so
pocket.
frustrated. Yeah, like people basically just are taking it for themselves. And I don't mind paying tax, but I have a problem with paying tax if it's not going to actually contribute to making my society better. The whole point is that I'm paying it so that the town that I live in, or the state that I live in, or wherever it is, whatever jurisdiction, is actually going to have improvements to the infrastructure and to the quality of life. And things are getting worse. And it's like they want more tax, but my quality of life is getting worse within these areas. What's happening?
I'm thinking that obviously once fiat currency is almost obsolete and the whole world is almost running on blockchain, I think that tax is going to be a form of smart contract. It'll be a lot more fair. Whereas a lot of the people I went to school with and still speak to, very working class, and a lot of them have got this idea that people who have earned a lot of money should pay a lot more tax. And I've always argued with them when it's like, not all, but some of those people have worked very, very, very hard, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 15 years to create a huge organization that now they just sit at home and it generates them cash. But you want them to pay 60% tax when all you've done is worked 5 hours a day, 5 days a week at a grocer's or something like that. Relatively, you haven't put the effort in, but yeah, you don't have to pay that amount of tax. Well, it's like we deserve the money because they've worked for it. There's just going to be a much fairer way of doing it, I think, eventually. There's going to be blockchain, and the smart contracts is just going to, it'll figure itself out.
It's worse than that, though, right now. Some people don't go to work, they have money. They got paid by checks. How much tax money go into the vaccine development? Go to those big pharmacies?
I wouldn't even
know
the answer to that.
There's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. It's government funded, right? That's part of the reason why they don't have any culpability when it comes to, like, that's the thing that I tell people with their insurance. The vaccine companies have no culpability when it comes to, if you have a reaction to the vaccine, your insurance might not cover it. It's government funded and they have no responsibility.
Yeah, it's crazy. When insurance companies stop paying out, you've got a problem, and if insurance companies, I've been told something in the last couple of days that in this country, I don't know if it's other countries, they now have 2 tariffs. And if you have been vaccinated, it's very unlikely you will get insured health insurance. It's very unlikely. But if you do, you're on the vaccinated tariff. And it's a lot more money. But yet the government is still telling you to get your boosters. Well, that's interesting. They only work on numbers. That's how they perform. It's pure data. So if their data is showing that you are probably going to have some kind of injury of some form because of the vaccine, then I'm going to believe them.
We're not opposed to pay tax if the people who use the tax money is honest. And if we have a saying about how the tax money should go, then okay.
Technically, we should, right? You're supposed to technically have that in place. That's why you elect certain representatives that put forth But the centralization, right? Once it moves to decentralization, that is really going to be the thing that helps to correct these problems, because that's really where it's occurring, because there's too much centralization occurring within the current system.
All right, let's keep going a bit.
Help you can legally have the free money, legally money, and globally pay P2P. Even you do business, can B2B. Can help you legally save this 50%, 30% tax. So they call student tax. And how can join us? Very easy. Follow. We are Himalaya Exchange. Himalaya Exchange will have a lot functionally. We are, as the go to the market. We are launch. Example, wallet. The wallet, you can use the wallet. The wallet is the thing you have any personal bank. Needs the core bank, needs the brand bank, needs the Kevin, Jean, Amanda bank. You need that. Now, what is the Himalaya Edge wallet? The Edge wallet can P2P pay. Needs the call, can pay your lovers in Japan only 1 second. You can pay your second lover in Moscow 1 second.
So what I'm trying to say is that actually something we have talked about before. So you should show people this clip, and the clip we talked about before is not that, we're like a copycat. And also we try to emphasize one more time, he's building a big platform. Our idea is actually built on the platform he's building. This is more like the application of what he's built for people to do, the H-Coin, H-Pay, and all that, because it's legal, right? He's very care about it. He doesn't want the whole system with the...
Yeah, it has to be legal. You can't mess with the legal stuff. That's very essential. It's also fast is also the thing. Something that I think a lot of people don't understand, specifically within this movement all the time, is the speed at which you do things. Time is money. Time is your value. So the fact that you can do these things within such a short amount of time is really going to be essential, because it's like you're not wasting your energy. Some transfers, it takes, 5, 7, 14 days like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's taking so long now, but if it's instant, I'm not saying just, I'm saying that this is also an essential part.
I'm just saying you should pay attention to the ratio of the time and cost. That's actually essential. So if now we have, let's say the people now doing the translation, they're doing a fantastic job. They do quite a lot and have the whole movement right now, but they can move on to the next step to use AI to actually help, or the tools that make things much faster. So my point is that if you can do things faster, low cost, because what you said about the H-Pay is fast. You can pay people very fast, but in the same time, you did not mention another like key element is the cost is very low.
Like the fee. Right now, there isn't a fee, I think, right? Like you don't have to pay any fees to send anything through the H wallet, right?
On the H-Pay.
Yeah, but usually there is something called a gas fee that helps with the transactional amount. You're correct. So right now there is none for the H-Pay.
Why? It's like a quick question. Why is none?
Because it encourages people to use it. Number one,
no,
I guess.
Because H-Pay using a permissioned system, not a permissionless system.
And that allows them to do that fee free.
Allows them to amending the ledger with a really low cost. Doesn't need everyone on the chain to like verify that.
Oh, so it could technically incur a cost, but it would just be lower than a permissionless.